And that was the thing, and that's why when we talked to you and Ramsey, we're like, we're going to have to do what we have to do in the game, and obviously people are just going to assume that you're our target, but you do need to understand that, like, yes, I left and I spent a week with Levita and I watched a fucking screen and I saw the way that some of these people work, and some of these people work so sneakily and so smart that it actually makes me feel kind of stupid sometimes, like having Levita in my ear, like being like, this is what's happening right now, this is what's happening right now, and I was just like, God, I didn't, and it's right there in front of your face, but you just don't see it. Even how the brothers were for a while we thought that Mitch, the brothers, and Joel had an alliance because the three of them would meet at night when everyone else was asleep, and they'd all talk for a long time down in the thing. And I'm like, how did we just miss that? And then I would think I would go for late night cigarettes and walk by them, and I would just be like, oh hey guys, and
think nothing of it,
and then just walk back in the house, and then it's fuck, those are the things that you need to see, and it's I wasn't seeing any of it. So going and leaving for that week and then coming back, it's yeah, I got my friends in the house, but you think that if the brothers, that's something that Jared and I have always said, I'm like, if the brothers win, they're probably putting you up, because they probably would, because it's it's because that whole top dog thing, and that's another thing about Ramsey, Ramsey's gonna have to be very careful because he's a top competitor, you know what I mean, he's one of the athletic, smart, strong players in this game, and for you, for me, I know that that's one of my biggest worries. It's Jared is one of the top players.
Yeah, I know. We got ourselves a little...
And we'll just the top players will just continue to get each other out, and then it's all these fucking people that just slide under the radar, and
I guess all I want to know, or all I care about is I'm not here to make deals, obviously, with anyone, and it's funny because people are going to make deals with me, but I have Ramsey and that's it. But all I want to know is all I want to say to people is eye for an eye. And that's how I'm going to play this game. So if I don't put you up in the block, there's clear fucking reason why I didn't put you in the block.
Yes.
So it's if I'm not going to tell anyone I'm not putting in the block. You'll see when I slide those two fingers. But it's if I'm going to go stick my neck out and not put you and Jared on the block.
Yes.
It's because I want it. I want it to work together in a way.
And this is the thing that I said to Jared. I'm literally, the deal that we made with you and Ramsey is the first time we have ever even attempted to make a deal.
Yeah.
People would always be you need to make a deal, you need to make a deal. And this is when I didn't know the game, and I'm you do? Even Levita said that. She's why didn't you make a deal with me? And I was I thought that we were friends. I didn't know we had to make a deal. I thought that was a deal.
What?
I didn't know we had to make a deal.
Yeah.
And so it just was hard for us because that's the very first time we ever tried to make a deal with somebody, and then it completely blew up in our faces, and we were okay, well, let's never do that again. That was stupid.
Sweet. No, I don't want you to think Mitch kind of ruined that.
I know that
for both of us.
He did,
and that was his plan. And
I know it was, and you need to know that yes, Mitch was pissed. I came back in this house, and and he was sitting pretty. He was really good with the brothers and you, and he had his thing with Raul, and he had his thing with Jared, and he literally was in the center of everything.
Yeah.
And and making deals with people and making alliances with people that nobody knew about. Mm-hmm. And so it was just a smart thing. Maybe you should have explained. And I think it's hard for us too because you and I have never talked game with each other. You know what I mean?
And I'm always open to it. It's just it's funny because
I think it's just because people think that we hate each other. And that's the thing. It's she thinks that you're a prom queen bully, and I'm I don't know, honest to God, I've always said, I'm going to always be nice to Maddie. I'm never going to be mean to her. And if anyone is ever saying things that I've said about you, the only time I got really mad was when I took your deck, and it was because I was fucking Maddie, she got the votes, but I got myself the votes to get out of this house. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And I know a lot of stuff comes out of Cass's mouth that's from you, or
And that is the thing about.
I know.
That's the thing about Cass. I do really like Cass. I love hanging out with her, whatever. But even just the way she treats, and Jared gets mad at her all the time. That's why her and Jared fight so much. Is because Jared will be you need to stop being such a catty bitch to Maddie, and then she'll come in here and I'll be you know what? She's defending herself. You guys are at each other's throats sometimes, but Jared legit gets mad at her for being mean to you all the time. They fight about it all the time. And and I just sit in the middle of it, and I'm just I don't know, whatever. This is the catty season, and it's embarrassing that it's the catty season. There's no fucking girls left in this house, and there's so much manpower down there. And what are we Emmett said that. He's
but it's
what are you
hello,
doing?
Newsflash, who is the heart of all this cattiness?
I know.
It's one person.
I know. And
she makes me want to dislike you more than I actually dislike you.
I'm literally the exact same way. Jared came out and he's apparently Tim and Cass told her that we were the prom queen and queen and blah 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 blah. And I was as much as and I hear that you were bullied in school, and I'm as much as you say that you've been bullied in school, I was never a bully in school. And like to have somebody come up and say that you're a bully, it's like actually
there's a lot of people who are bullies in this house.
Of course, and that's the thing about this game that fucking sucks, is because you can say like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna manipulate, I'm not gonna do it, but it's like there's a certain, like, and it doesn't matter who you are as a person, like in this house, because of this game, there's a certain degree of it that you have to do. I'm not saying that you have to bully, but like I think that even sometimes just like feeling discluded or like or whatever.
And that's what I say to people. I'm like, I haven't lied yet.
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying, oh, I'm going to be a fucking non-sinner in this house.
The
but
first,
like, I will lie. It just hasn't happened yet.
The first shady thing that we did was make a deal with you and Ramsey. And like literally as soon as it all blew up, I went to Jared and I'm like, well, let's never do that again. Like that obviously didn't work. And it was kind of disappointing because I thought that it was a really, and so as soon as like the brothers were in here, Cass was in here, Tim was in here, everyone was in here being like, you made a deal, you made a deal, you made a deal. And I was like, fuck, like that's just like, I'm like, it could have worked out really well, but like
me out.
But I don't know. I want you to be open to it. I don't want you to think that like I hate you either. Like it's like we've got like this whole thing, and it's like
I think it just is one thing.
And like if you and I, if I get the POV, and then I get off the block, someone else goes home, and then we're at each other's throats. It's like it is just like catty girl shit.
Dumb.
And it's dumb, and it's embarrassing to walk out the house and be like
oh,
what?
How's your fight with whatever?
We got each other out, and it's like great. Like there's people that love shit like I'm not saying anything against Mitch. It was a very smart thing, but like that's what his game plan was, to pin people against each other, not just on a game level, but on a personal level, because they'll just continue to get each other out. And then all these fucking floaters or people that, you know, are good with everyone, don't talk game with anyone, whatever, will win the entire game because they will never have actually made a move in the house.
Joel.
And it's really, really frustrating to like, for someone like me, who just got like thrown into it, has been made like this massive target for so long, to watch it all happen. You know what I mean? Like as soon as like it was you, I was just like, great. You know what I mean? And like, and that's the thing, the other thing that Ramsey said. Ramsey came up to Jared and I and was like, oh, you guys are shitting pretty in this house, you're not targets. And I'm like, Ramsey, Jared and I are target number one. And we have been like, since week one. And like you guys understand that as well. We get the same thing. The showmans, whatever you want to call it. We're dangerous. It's like, no, it's all these fucking people out there that aren't anything.
Yes.
That are these lone rangers that like have nobody have their back. It's like they're just as big as a worry in this house as you and Ramsey or me and Jared. It's just because there's two of us that we're a bigger target and an easier target to be like, let's just go for them. Like that makes sense. And it's like, no, it doesn't. Like it doesn't make sense. Like it, I don't know.
The only time that one vote will matter is when there's 3 people left.
Right.
So me having one vote means fuck all.
Right.
Like it's great. One is more than none.
Yes.
But it's like,
yes.
Do you not realize? Yes, if I had 3 votes and I was in a group with 4 people, then I would be scared and I would probably, you know, bang down all of you. But it's like, I have one person. Like,
yes.
What is this one person going to do? Like you have 4 or 5 or 6, and then there's just me in this kid. Like
And I do want you to, and like, and there is Ramsey and Maddy, or sorry, Ramsey and Jared. It's like, we know that like, we don't want to be classified as a duo or whatever, but like, it is what it is, and it's out there, and everyone knows that, and we will be targets because of that. And it would just be frustrating to see us target you and you target us, and let's get each other out, and then all these fucking other people are just going to continue to go on. And like, yes, I am friends with everyone in the house, and sure, maybe being popular isn't a great thing. Levita said that. She's like, you going back in, they're probably going to get you out the next week because you're like being popular in the game. And like, I don't even like that word. I'm not trying to be popular. I literally am just being friends with people. And yes, getting that week off and seeing the way people were in the house, I was being serious when I said that you weren't our targets. And like, that's why I wanted to come and tell you guys that, because because I could have won HOH this week, you know what I mean? Or Jared could have won HOH this week. And we had already had that conversation with you guys. And we told you what we were going to be saying when we told you, we literally laid out our game plan in front of you and it blew up in our faces. So it is scary to come and talk to you about anything at all because of what just happened. So I don't want you to like go out and tell everyone, you know, like I really don't want that to happen again. But we did go out on a whim, and that was before you were HOH, you know what I mean?
I guess it just bothers me more, like, and I hate to say, like, I don't like this one person specifically, but it's like, I guess it just bothers me more that I see you and Jared so close to Cass and the brothers, and I'm like, this, because,
I know
okay, say I put Cass on the block. Well, what if, you know, they all vote for her to stay? Then that backfired on me, and I'm a fucking idiot. What if I put Kelsey on the block? Oh, well, then they all have votes for her to stay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just going to this, like,
you just need to understand that me coming back into that, maybe like before I left, sure, fine. I was feeling very emotionally before I left, obviously.
Yeah.
But having that week off and seeing the way the house dynamics were, like, fuck, I never would have put Mitch up on the block if I didn't see what I saw or heard what I heard.
Right.
You know what I mean? Never.
Because you were his best friend. Yeah.
And because probably nobody in this house would have. No, the brothers wouldn't have. You wouldn't have. Jared and Raul definitely wouldn't have. You know what I mean? The only person that might have was like Tim and Cass because they didn't really have a relationship with him. But it's like, no, seeing what I saw and coming back into the house, this isn't a fucking high school. This isn't who's popular, who's not. It doesn't matter who you're friends with. I'm going to continue to be friends with them because I need to live in this house and they are my friends.
You need to be sane, yeah.
If nothing else. But no, if you put these people up on the block, I just want you to change your mindset a little bit on things. And because I had to, and I got a week to do it with Flavita, so that helped, but
I will. And like I say to you guys, like eye for an eye, and Jared knows this very well because, and I hate holding it against him, but I literally saved him so hard. He could have gone home.
I know you did.
Like that.
And I very much appreciate it. I do.
And I did it for a reason. And I know that when he talks to me, no matter, even if I'm like telling him, even when I said I voted against Mitch, I could always tell that he was like, still wouldn't go against me. And I'm not like using that to my advantage. Like there will come a time where we all obviously have to get each other out. There's like 5 people left, but it's like, Jared knows that like I do things for a reason.
And remember that like it's not like I've like remember that like Jared and I discuss everything and like I know that. I know, and he told me that. You know what I mean? And he does stick to his word. Like the Levita thing, when she said she wanted to work with us, and I was like, I don't know, she seems pretty close to Dallas and Maddie. He'd be like, we're sticking to our word. We said that, we're not putting her up. And I'd be like, okay, like it. And like, don't think that like if he comes up with a decision, I'm 100% down for it, or if I come up with a decision, like we discuss everything, and we're trying.
Just like me and Ramsey.
We are trying to be smart about everything, and somebody like Ramsey, like Jared has always loved Ramsey.
I know.
And like because of the way we were pitted against each other with like the Dallas and you, and then there was like us on the like we've just always been against each other. And it's just getting a little annoying to watch all these other people just like. Fuck, it's very predictable.
And I'm not here to, and like I have said to everyone, like every season I've auditioned for, like, oh, I just want to go into this house and I just want to make moves that people are going to be like, you know, like that's why when I backed with Levita, people were like, holy fucking shit, where did that come from?
Right.
So I'm not here to be like, yeah, me and Kelsey don't like each other, so I'm going to put it on the block.
That's the thing. This
like
whole,
boring.
Well, and this whole like catty girl drama, and it is, like I do love Cass, but like some of the things that like she says, like some like when you guys are like, I'm just like sitting there like, ugh.
And like I don't want to get like weird and like emotional and personal, whatever, but like I actually do, like if you saw my goodbye message, like you would really have seen, like I do really think that we are very similar and that we could be very close friends. It's just the plague that like the house is putting us against each other more than I think we actually.
Well, and that was the thing, even like in the first couple weeks, like because I was like, I don't know how Maddie feels about me. I'm like, but we'll see it. So then like, and we would have really great chats, and we would seem to get close. But then all of a sudden, people would come up to me and be like,
this person said this.
Maddie just said this about you and this about, and I was, and that's why when you pulled me into the pantry that one time, I'm like, Maddie, it's fine. Say whatever you want to say about me in the game. I'm like, but when you talk about me personally, I'm like, that's when it hurts my feelings. And like, it was true. Like there was a time when I was sitting in the hot tub. I was already on the block, I was feeling really shitty, and then somebody came out and was like, oh, Maddie just said that's Cass, actually.
See, like, I'm gonna be honest, and I tell everyone this, like, I have yet to lie in this game.
Yeah.
When I say I don't say things about people, I actually don't say it.
Yes.
I am not one, I will admit my faults 100%.
Yes.
If someone calls me out, like, when you called me out saying like, oh, you didn't say that, I just nodded my head and said, yes, you're right.
Yes.
That never happened.
Yes.
So it's like, I'm here to just tell people, you're right.
Well, and that's why it was hard for me, because like I was already down, I felt down. And then when she came out and said like, oh, Maddie just said this about you, and like laughed, and it was more personal than anything else, like I literally was just like,
what the fuck? I know.
Down. Like it was the downest I have felt yet in this game. And then and so that's why when people were like, Maddie says you're a bully, and I'm like, I feel like she was bullying me, but then it's like, I guess you never actually like,
who's the bully?
Did it to my face. It was like just being told to me behind my back, and then I think that just like created like tension,
which is hard because like
between the two of us
in this game, like people
and
don't
even
confront.
Even the fact that Mitch was doing that, like Mitch was doing that. I'm telling you that was his game plan. He told Levita to get close with you in Dallas because he was already close with Jared and I. And so it just made more sense to keep pinning us against each other. And like, so Mitch was in my ear.
And we follow in those tracks because people want us to, and then we get like more fooled by it.
Exactly. And that's why when I came back into this house, I said to Jared, I'm like, we need to go talk to Maddie and Ramsey. Because they're not the fucking threats in this house. And that is the thing, is the two fucking couples,
like are literally getting put in this like weird high pedestal that we're like some fucking great smart players of this game. But
well,
like,
and Mitch happened to be on your guys' good side, so then he didn't do it to you. But like, who knows if the situation was reversed and you went to that room and came back and told on Mitch and whatever, he could have been like, there's an unstoppable duo in this house, and like he could have done the exact same thing to you guys.
Yeah.
That he did to, because I leaned over to Jared and I'm like, why? Like, why is it us exactly? Like, why isn't it Tim and Cassandra? It could just as easily be Maddy and Ramsey. It could be the fucking brothers. Anyone in this house could be an unstoppable force.